Reading Srimad Bhagavatam 4:30-35. Yatre dhyantikata mristas trashnaya paraprasamo yataha nirvairam yatra bhuteshu notvegho yatra kashyana. Yatra, where? Why is he rocking? Huh? Why like that? Why is not? What happened?
You can do second. I'll try it later.
Idyante. Worship to discuss. Kataha, words. Mristaha, pure. Trasnayaha, of material anchoring. Prasamaha, satisfaction. Yatra, by which nirvairyam, non-enviousness. Yatra, where bhuteshu, among living entities, not udvegaha, fear, yatra, where, kashyana, any. Whenever pure topics of the transcendental world are discussed, the members of the audience forget all kinds of material anchorings, at least for the time being. Not only that, but they are no longer envious of one another, nor do they suffer from anxiety or fear. Whenever pure topics of the transcendental world are discussed, the members of the audience forget all kinds of material anchoring, at least for the time being. Not only that, but they are no longer envious of one another, nor do they suffer from anxiety or fear. Vaikuntha means without anxiety. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Vaikuntha means without anxiety. As stated by Prahlad Maharaj, Sada Samudveknadiyam Asatkrahat. The living entities who have accepted this material world as a residence are full of anxiety. A place immediately becomes Vaikuntha when the holy topics of the personality of Godhead are described by pure devotees. This is the process of Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu. Chanting and hearing about the Supreme Lord Vishnu as the Supreme Lord Himself confirms. Naham tistame vaikunte yogena mrideshu va yatra gayanti mad bhakta tatra tistame narada. My dear Narada, actually I do not reside in my abode, Vaikuntha, nor do I reside within the hearts of the yogis, but I reside in that place where my pure devotees chant my holy name and discuss my form, pastimes and qualities. Because of the presence of the Lord in the form of transcendental vibration, the Vaikuntha atmosphere is evoked. This atmosphere is without fear and anxiety. One living entity does not fear another. By hearing the holy name and glories of the Lord, a person executes pious activities. Sunvata asvakataha Krishna punya shravana kirtanam. Thus, his material anchoring immediately stopped. This Sankirtan movement, started by the Society for Krishna Consciousness, is meant for creating Vaikuntha, the transcendental world that is without anxiety, even in this material world. The method is the propagation of Shravanam Kirtanam, process throughout the world. In the material world, everyone is envious of his fellow man. Animalistic envy exists in human society as long as there is no performance of Sankirtan Yajna, chanting of the holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. The Prasetas therefore decided to remain always in the society of devotees, and they considered them to be the highest benediction possible in human life. Soma Jnanatimidandasya Jnanam Jnana Salakaya Chakshodan Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Satpitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamam Didati Swapadandikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapada Kamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sakajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajim Shadvitam Shavadutam Parajanam Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitam Shyam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Krishna Gaurangi Shavanu Devi Pranam Tanam Paunebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swamiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Sundhavadi Paschatya Desatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Shri Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So thank you very much for joining into our Srimad Bhagavatam class. So our whole point here is that wherever there is Krishna, then all these impure things cannot exist. Right? This is the only way to counteract these impurities that are prevailing. Right? So many verses on this point. Right? Let's go to this first. Krishna Surya Sama Maya Haya Andankara Yahan Krishna Tahan Nahi Maya Re Adhikar. Krishna is compared to sunshine and Maya is compared to darkness. Wherever there is sunshine, there cannot be darkness. As soon as one takes to Krishna consciousness, the darkness of illusion, the influence of the external energy will immediately vanquish or vanish. See this point here? So Krishna, whenever you bring Krishna's name, immediately all this Maya cannot come in front of Krishna. That's not possible. Yes, immediately vanishes. So you must understand this, that without Krishna, the external illusory energy of Krishna, known as Maya, is always ashamed to stand in front of Krishna. Yeah? Just as darkness is ashamed to remain before the sunshine. However, that Maya bewilders unfortunate people who have no intelligence, that they simply boast that this material is theirs and that they are its own enjoyers. This is what we are talking about, The moment you are not in Krishna consciousness, then you are engulfed by Maya. And when you get onto Maya, then you start envying. All these bad qualities are developed. Yeah? Yes? That we have explained many times, because the moment you are bewildered, then your mind starts thinking that what? You are the doer, you are the body. Right? So when you get engulfed in this mind, what is the next verse? Let us see that before we go. One is immediately freed from the clutches of Maya if we seriously and sincerely say, my dear Lord Krishna, although I have forgotten you for so many long years in the material world, today I am surrendering unto you. I am your sincere and serious servant. Please engage me in your service. I think there's also, after that, is a verse about Lord Ram, no? This is the famous verse, no? So the point here, it is my vow that if only one seriously surrenders unto me, saying, my dear Lord, from this day I am yours, and prays to me for fearlessness, I shall immediately award fearlessness to that person and will always remain safe from the time on. So in other words, if you are with Krishna, then you are free from all these bad qualities. Huh? Yes. Now becoming be with Krishna means that we hear and chant about his glories. Of course, you know this verse, I think. Nama Sankirtan Yasya Sarva Papa Pranashanam Pranamo Dukkha Samanas Tam Namami Harim Param. I offer my respectful obeisance unto the Supreme Lord Hari. The congregational chanting of whose holy name destroy all sinful reaction, and the offering of obeisance unto whose relieves all material suffering. So you see that today the chanting of Krishna's name, then there is, even while they are there, they will not be. If they stop chanting, then he will come back again. You understand? But if you are constantly chanting, then there is no question of being in Maya. See? This is the whole contention, that how to become free from Maya. Yes? First of all, you must know what is Maya, no? Correct? If you are inside Maya, then you cannot know. You understand that? Like many conditioned souls, they are inside Maya, they cannot figure it out. It is not possible. You understand? Because they are in illusion. That is another class. Here we are talking about devotees who are chanting Krishna's name. So wherever the chanting of Krishna's name is going on, then there is no question of Maya coming in there. Like this place here. There is no place. I mean, is there a difference between your house and this place? Difference. No difference. Prabhu, same Prabhu, I also doing. Yeah, what you're doing? So many other things also you're doing there. Come on, let's be honest. Yes. So there's a difference. Why? Because here the constant vibration, the Lord's presence, they're all there. The deity is non-different from the Lord. That we have explained many times. Correct? So wherever there is the presence of the Lord or His holy name, or anything with Him, then that place becomes Vaikuntha, as Prabhupada said here, Vaikuntha. You understand this point? And whenever you create that Vaikuntha, like he was giving the class the other day, that where is Vaikuntha, is Advaita Acharya, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I thought I'm in Vrindavan, where am I now? No, wherever you are, that's Vrindavan. Advaita Acharya said, because Nityananda Prabhu deluded him to bring him back to Navadvip. So he was wondering, I'm supposed to go to Vrindavan, where am I now? So wherever you are, that's Vrindavan. You understand? Why? Because devotees create that atmosphere. You understand? The chanting is very, very potent. That's why it says, what is that word? Nama Chintamani Krishna. Huh? What is that? 17? 19? 19 what? 17? 133. 133. So here in this verse you see, Nama Chintamani Krishna Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha Purno Suddho. That Purna means what? Complete. Suddha means what? Pure. Nitya Mukto. What is Nitya Mukto? Nitya means eternal. Mukta means liberated. Abhinatvam Nama Naminoho. See that? This is a very important word. The holy name of Krishna is transcendently blissful. It bestows all spiritual benediction, for it is Krishna himself, the reservoir of all pleasure. Krishna's name is complete. It is the form of all transcendental mellows. It is not a material name under any condition, and it is not less powerful than Krishna himself. Since Krishna's name is not contaminated by material qualities, there is no question of it being involved with Maya. Krishna's name is always liberated and spiritual. It is never conditioned by the laws of material nature. This is because the name of Krishna and Krishna himself are identical. See this point here? You understand? That's why we have to take shelter of the Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama eva kevalam, kalau nasteva, nasteva, nasteva gatiranyata. I'm trying to look for that verse, it's not in this here. Om apavitro pavitro va. Where is that? Prabhupada, we chant during the Yajna, this verse. Om apavitra pavitro va. Sarvabhastam gato piva. Yasmarat pundarikaksham sa baya abhayantara suchihi. See? You know where is that? Huh? 684. I'm looking, I can't find it. Why? Must put Om, is it? How come I can't find it? Oh, here it is in the verse. Om apavitra. How come I type this in being come out? So Om apavitra. If some form of fear arises, one should first wash his hands and legs clean, and then perform achmana by chanting this mantra. Om apavitra pavitro va sarvavastam gato piva. Yasmarat pundarika aksham sa bhaya abhayantara suchihi. Sri Vishnu, Sri Vishnu, Sri Vishnu. Amazing, huh? This is inside the words. Huh? Then one should touch kusagras and sit gravely and silently facing north. When completely purified, one should touch the mantra composed of 8 syllables, the 8 parts of his body. What is this mantra, 8 syllable mantra? Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Huh? And then the 12 syllables to his hands. Thus in the following manner he should bind himself with the Narayana coat of armor. Oh, that 8 one is, 8 is Om Namo Narayanaya. First, while chanting the mantra composed of 8 syllables, Om Namo Narayanaya, beginning with the pranava, the syllable Om, one should touch his hands to 8 parts of the body, starting with the 2 feet, progressing systematically to the knees, thighs, abdomen, heart, chest, mouth and head. Then one should chant the mantra in reverse. How to do that? Yeah. While touching to chant even straight is difficult. And chant in reverse. Everyone is having difficulty in just chanting straight. While touching the parts of the body in the reverse order. These 2 processes are known as Upayati Nyasa and Samhara Nyasa respectively. So, but the point I am trying to make is that this is an explanation of this mantra. 9, 8, 22. This is from Garuda Puranam. So to keep ourselves externally clean, we should bathe 3 times daily. And for internal cleanliness, we must cleanse the heart by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. The members of the Krishna conscious movement must always follow this principle, Paya Abhayantara Suchihi. Then it will one day be possible to see the Supreme Personality of Godhead face to face. So this doesn't explain this mantra. Actually the mantra means whatever is impure will become pure. Simply by remembering, Yasmarat Pundarikakshi, we remember the Lord, then whatever is impure will become purified. Both internally and externally. Explanation, I don't know. You have anything there?
Another place there, 11:349.
It doesn't have a full explanation, does it?
11:21:14.
11?
21:14.
Whether one is pure or contaminated, and regardless of one's external situation, simply by remembering the lotus-eyed personality of Godhead, one can internally and externally cleanse one's existence. This is where the explanation is. So you try to understand the power of the Lord. So today we are reading that just by remembering the Lord, wherever there is chanting or remembrance, then that place becomes sanctified, heart becomes sanctified, everything becomes sanctified. It is not an exaggeration. To illustrate this point, you see here, that how this enviousness is always deep-rooted in the heart, the person becomes cleansed of it. So this is illustrated here. The Lord abandoned walking on the well-known public road and went instead along a bypass. He thus kept the city of Katak on his right as he entered the forest. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is going through Jarikanda forest, So when he went to the forest, when the Lord passed through the solitary forest chanting the holy name of Krishna, the tigers, elephants, seeing him, gave way. See? Very interesting point. When the Lord passed through the jungle in great ecstasy, packs of tigers, elephants and rhinoceros and boars came and the Lord passed right through them. Can you imagine that? Balabhadra, Bhattacha were very much afraid to see them, but Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's influence, all the animals stood to one side. Okay? Understand? So here, one day a tiger was lying on the path and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu walking along the path in ecstatic love touched the tiger with his feet. The Lord said, chant the holy name of Krishna. The tiger immediately got up and began to dance and to chant Krishna, Krishna. Hello? Can't even make human chant. Trying so hard. Another day, while Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was bathing in a river, a herd of maddened elephants came there to drink water. While the Lord was bathing and murmuring the Gayatri mantra, the elephants came before him. The Lord immediately splashed some water on the elephant and asked them to chant the name of Krishna. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was the Supreme Personality of Godhead playing the part of very great advanced devotee. On the Mahabharata platform, the devotee makes no distinction between friends and enemy. On that platform, he sees everyone as servant of Krishna, as stated in the Bhagavad Gita, Vidya Vinaya Sampane, Brahmane Gavir Hastine, Sunichaiva Supakhe Cha Pandita Samadarshinaha. A humble sage by virtue of true knowledge, see with equal vision a learned and gentle Brahmana, a cow, an elephant, a dog, and a dog-eater outcast. The Mahabharata, being learned and advanced in spiritual consciousness, see no difference between a tiger, an elephant, or a learned scholar. The test of advanced spiritual consciousness that one becomes fearless. He envies no one, and he is always engaged in the Lord's service. He sees every living entity as an eternal part and parcel of the Lord, rendering service according to his capacity by the will of the Supreme Lord. As Krishna confirms in the Bhagavad Gita, Sarvajya Hangadi Sanvisto, Mata Smriti Jnana Pohanam Cha. I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me come remembrance, knowledge and forgetfulness. The Mahabharata knows that Krishna is in everyone's heart. Krishna is dictating and the living entity is following. His dictation, Krishna is within the heart of the tiger, elephant and bull. Therefore, Krishna tells them, he is a Mahabhagavata, please do not disturb him. Why then should animals be envious of such great personality? Those who are neophytes or even little progress in devotional service should not try to imitate the Mahabhagavata. Rather, they should only follow in his footsteps. The word Anukara means imitating and Anushara means trying to follow in the footsteps. We should not try to imitate the activities of Mahabhagavata or Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Our best effort should be exerted in trying to follow them according to our ability. The Mahabhagavata's heart is completely free from material contamination and he can become very dear even to the fierce animals like tigers and elephants. Indeed, the Mahabhagavata treats them as his very intimate friend. On this platform, there is no question of envy. When the Lord was passing through the forest, he was in ecstasy, thinking the forest to be Vrindavan. He was simply searching for Krishna. The elephants, whose body was touched by the water splashed by the Lord, began to chant Krishna, Krishna and dance and sing in ecstasy. Some of the elephants fell to the ground and some screamed in ecstasy. Seeing this, Balabhadra was completely astonished. Sometimes Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu chanted very loudly while passing through the jungle. Hearing his sweet voice, all the does came near him. Hearing the Lord's great vibration, all the does followed him left and right. While reciting a verse with great curiosity, the Lord petted them. This verse is from the Bhagavatam. Blessed are all those foolish deers because they approach Maharaj Nanda's son, who is gorgeously dressed and is playing on his flute. Indeed, both the does and the bucks worship the Lord with looks of love and affection. This is from the Bhagavatam. While Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was passing through the jungle, 5 or 7 tigers came. Joining the deer, the tigers began to follow the Lord. It's an amazing point. Seeing the tigers and deer following him, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu immediately remembered the land of Vrindavan. He then began to recite a verse describing the transcendental quality of Vrindavan. In Vrindavan, Vrindavan is the transcendental abode of the Lord. There is no hunger, anger, thirst there. Although naturally inimical, human beings and fierce animals live together there in transcendental friendship. This is this point. This is what happens, like today the verse. When you start chanting Krishna's name, Kirtan, or in with the body, discussing Krishna, then these bad qualities cannot surface. Cannot surface. That's why Prabhupada quoted, Yatra gayanti mad bhakta tistami cha. So if Krishna is there, there cannot be any. That's actually another verse. I think in the beginning of the Bhagavatam, I don't know when this Bhagavatam is going to be spoken, don't worry, Yamaraj is also sitting here, then nobody will die. That's a verse there. Do you know? Do you know this verse? Come on. This is the first part of the Bhagavatam, Say, don't worry, Yamaraj is also here, then nobody will die. So today we are talking no envy, but there is no death also. As long as the Bhagavatam is recited, I think that Sutta Goswami one was speaking that verse. So you see how the vibration of the Lord's name is so potent that if you hear or you create that Harinam Sankirtanam, then immediately the place becomes sanctified. There's none other way. That's why they say, Naeva, Nasteva, Nasteva, Nasteva Gatira. No other way. Just like now, the world situation is very precarious. There's war, there's, there's what do you call it? Disease. People are in total misery. Correct? To counteract this, Kali Kalmasu Nasanam, you have to chant Krishna's name. Kali Yugere Dharma, Hariname Sankirtan. Cannot find any other best method. It's not possible. See, there is no death. Yamaraj is there, you will not die. You won't get envy, you won't get all these bad qualities, lust, anger, all. How potent the holy name is. You know how potent the holy name is. It's so powerful, very, very. Right? That's why anyone who chants the name of Krishna, who keeps the name, when he comes from a dog-eater family, he is considered what? Topmost personality. Anyone who can keep the holy name in his Ahobata, Swagato Gariyan, correct? How much chanting is the only medicine, right? Can you can't find that word? 116? 116 what?
8.
As long as Yamaraj, who curses everyone, does is present here, no one shall meet with his death. The great sages had invited the controller of death, Yamaraj, who the representative of the Lord. Living beings who are under the grave should take advantage of hearing the necklace nectar in the form of this narration of the transcendental pastimes of the Lord. Correct? As long as you chant, then you don't have to worry about that. Not only envy, even death. Yes? Should take advantage of hearing the deathless nectar in the form of this narration of transcendental pastimes of the Lord. So you see how potent this Harinam Sankirtan is. Yes? There will be no enmity, there will be no death. There will be what? Maya will not be there. Actually, there will be no hunger, no thirst also. That is exhibited by Parikshit Maharaj. He didn't feel hunger, he didn't feel, and 7 days and 7 nights. Don't think they were sleeping in the night. They were talking, going on, hearing Bhagavatam, 18,000 verses, how to finish. Correct? Yes? It was in 7 days. Sukadeva Goswami heard it for 7 days. I don't know where this 7 days came from. Because the Saptaha they do 7 days. But did he hear for 7 days? I don't know. How many days he heard? Sukadeva Goswami and Parikshit Maharaj?
That is because of Sukadeva and Parikshit conversation was 7 days.
7 days?
Sukadeva and Parikshit 7 days. From there only come.
Oh, that only came. The 7 days he passed away. Where is he stated 7 days?
He got cursed. He got cursed. 7 days.
He will die within 7 days. Is there the curse is there?
Yeah.
Is there? Yes? I don't remember the 7 days where I read it. So now the point is this, that you see how powerful the chanting is. See, there is no hunger, anger, thirst, and no envy. Right? Everybody lives in transcendental friendship. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, chant Krishna, Krishna, the tigers and deer began to chant Krishna and dance. Tiger and deer, Prabhu. This is the proof. There is no envy. When all the tigers and does dance and jump, Balabhadra saw them and was struck with wonder. This is the proof. Indeed, the tigers and deer began to embrace one another, touching mouth, they began to kiss. Hello. Yeah? This is a classic example of how the place becomes free from all envy. Correct? When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw all this fun, he began to smile. Finally, he left the animals and continued on his way. Various birds, including the peacock, saw Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, began to follow him, chanting and dancing. They were all maddened by the holy name of Krishna. When the Lord loudly chanted Haribol, the trees and creepers became jubilant to hear him. Not only the animals, they are talking about the plants, right? So the chanting, as Haridas Thakur says, by chanting all plants, trees, animals, everybody benefits. Yeah? Thus all the living entities in the forest of Jariganda, some moving, some standing still, became maddened by hearing the holy name of Krishna, vibrated by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
1837, 7 days.
7 days, huh? In the village through which the Lord passed and in all the places he rested on journey, everyone was purified and awakened to ecstatic love of God. You see how the thing was so transcendental? When someone heard the chanting of the holy name from the mouth of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Jai Radha, and someone else heard the chanting from that second person, and someone heard again this chanting from the third person. Everyone in all countries became a Vaishnava through such disciplic succession. Thus everyone chanted the holy name of Krishna and Hari, and they danced, cried and smiled. The Lord did not always manifest his ecstasy, being afraid of great assembly of people. The Lord kept his ecstasy concealed. Although Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not manifest his natural ecstatic love, everyone became a pure devotee simply by seeing and hearing him. It's so powerful, the Lord, just by seeing him, they became all devotees. I recommend you to read the purport. And this way Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally toured Bengal, East Bengal, Orissa, the southern countries, and delivered all kinds of people by spreading Krishna consciousness. So the point I am trying to make is that just by chanting, how the Lord induced animals to give up their natural enmity. So here today we are hearing, the moment you chant, at least momentarily, and we will. But if you really chant, then this thing must come out of the heart. Right? Understand? This is what Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Amoga Lila. Said, why you are keeping this dirty thing in the heart? Right? So in other words, if you chant Krishna's name, then this envy must go. That's why the word, in the first verse of the Bhagavatam, actually the second verse, Nimatsaram Satam. This Bhagavatam, second one, right? See here, the word is plain here. Yeah. Dharma projayita kaito votra paramo nimatsaranam satam. You see the word? Nimatsaranam. Nimatsaranam means what? Yeah? Envy. Yeah? Envious person. Correct? Of the 100% pure in the heart. Oh. Matsara means envy. Nimatsara means not envious. Yeah? Pure. So you see here, completely rejecting all religious activities which are materially motivated, Bhagavatam performs the highest role, which is understandable by devotees who are fully pure in heart. So in other words, if you take up this process of Krishna consciousness, then you must be free from this lust, anger, greed, envy. You must, because the process is very purifying. Unless, of course, you practice your devotional service in a passionate manner, because that we have discussed. Passionate devotee and the one who is in ignorance, then these things will never be uprooted from the heart. Okay? That's why it is very important to associate with devotees who are advanced. Okay? That's very important, because you don't keep that association. Simply if you stay among those people who are of the same kind, then the advancement will be very difficult. That is also explained here. Yesterday I showed that verse, no? You can see in this verse, not the verse, huh? A devotee should always try to hear about spiritual matters and should always utilize his time in chanting the holy name of the Lord. His behavior should always be straightforward and simple, and although he is not envious but friendly to everyone, he should avoid the company of persons who are not spiritually advanced. See this point? On the Bhagavad, on the CC 2283, it says that you should advance, even though you advance, you should associate with advanced devotees. But here, it is saying in the other way, that you cannot associate with people who are not advanced. These are two different points here. One says that you must advance, you must keep your association advance. And here he says it's forbidden for you not to associate with advanced devotees. You follow my point? If you advance, you must still associate devotees. Here it says you cannot associate with people who are not advanced. You understand my point? Hello?
22, 131 also say another. Associate with people who are more advanced.
Yes.
They are cannot associate.
You understand? So it is not that it's choice. In spiritual life, association with advanced devotee is a must. You understand? If you don't associate with advanced devotees, then spiritually it's Prabhupada writes the purport. In order to advance in spiritual understanding, one must hear from authentic source about spiritual knowledge. You have the Prabhupada putting here. One can understand the reality of spiritual life by following strict regulative principles and by controlling the senses. To have control, it is necessary that one be non-violent and fruitful, refrain from stealing, abstain from sex life, and possess only that which is absolutely necessary for keeping the body and soul together. One should not eat more than necessary, he should not collect more paraphernalia than necessary, he should not talk unnecessarily with common man, and he should not follow the rules and regulations without purpose. He should follow the rules and regulations so that he may actually make advancement. There are 18 qualifications mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita, amongst which is simplicity. One should be without pride, one should not demand unnecessary respect from others, and one should be non-violent. Manitvam, adhambitvam, ahimsa. There are about 38 Bhagavad Gita. One should be very tolerant and simple, one should accept the spiritual master, one should control the senses. These are mentioned here in the Bhagavad Gita as well. One should hear from authentic sources how to advance in spiritual life. Such instruction should be taken from the Acharya and should be assimilated. It is especially mentioned here, Nama Sankirtanat cha. One should chant the holy name of the Lord, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, either individually or with others. Lord Chaitanya has given special stress to the chanting of this holy name of the Lord as the basic principle of spiritual advancement. Another word used here is archavena, meaning without diplomacy. A devotee should not make plans out of self-interest. Of course, preachers sometimes have to make some plan to execute the mission of the Lord under proper guidance. This is the word. Not they simply, speculate a process, You understand? Under proper guidance. But regarding personal self-interest, the devotee should always be without diplomacy and he should avoid the company of persons who are not advancing in spiritual life. People who are like Sahajas, taking it what? Easy. Sahaja means what? Easy. Take it easy, relax. Relax, Prabhu. A little coffee can, Prabhu. What's the problem? Chocolate, of course. All the strict guys in the temple, they cannot take. But we are householders, no? We can adjust. Yeah? Yes? Correct. Once in a while we can eat outside. Prabhu. What's the problem? Only little onion and garlic, no? Any problem? It's not poison, right? Is it poison? Hello? What? If you are that serious, you just take it out. Yeah? Correct? I'll close my eyes, you just take it out. What? Yes? See? Another word is Arya. Aryans are persons who are advancing in knowledge of Krishna consciousness as well as in material prosperity. The difference between Aryan and non-Aryan, the Sura and the Asura, is in the standard of spiritual advancement. Association with persons who are not spiritually advanced is forbidden. Look at the word Prabhupada is using here. Associating with persons who are not spiritually advanced is what? Forbidden. Look at the word Prabhupada is using. Lord Chaitanya advised, asat sangatyak. One should avoid persons who are attached to temporary. Asat is one who is too materially attached, who is not a devotee of the Lord, and who is too attached to women or enjoyable material things. Such a person, according to Vaishnava philosophy, is a person non-grata, that means non-existing. Right? Yeah? A devotee should not be proud of his acquisition, and the symptom of devotee have meekness and humility. Although spiritually very advanced, he will always remain meek and humble as Kaviraj Goswami and all the Vaishnavas have taught us by Personal example. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught us one should be humbler than the grass one on the streets and more tolerant than the tree. One should not be proud or falsely puffed up. In this way, one will surely advance in spiritual life. I think this is a very strong statement. Yes. You see, one hand, you must advance in that. Even you advance, you still have to. Here, you cannot associate with people who are not advanced. It's very important, it makes sense, correct? A person is not advanced and you go there and chit chat, what are you going to get? Huh? What are you going to get? Tell me. Yes? So who are those advanced persons? That's again the next question. Who is that? You, me, what?
Prasanna nam grata means unwelcome.
No?
Unwelcome.
Unwelcome,
Unacceptable.
unacceptable, rejected, not approved. So therefore we have to learn how to see who is advanced. And who is advanced means that by the association you also make advancement. Simple, you know. Understand? You go to that person and you associate, you improve your spiritually. But if you go to someone and you are slipping down, then, correct? Yes? That's why Prabhupada said, 588, even if you are advanced, if you don't follow these principles, morning Mangalarti and all the rules, everything we have, then what happens to you? Fall down. So an advanced person must be following all these things. Yes. And of course he must have some knowledge. Not that he is just following and he has no brains. That's another thing. Correct? Yes? So these are all points that we have to understand. Not that we manufacture our own process and try to follow that. That doesn't work. That's now he says, right? Forbidden. The Prabhupada said, right? Huh? Yes? So we have to be very cautious in these points. Understand? If you simply think that you can manufacture a process and you try to practice that, then it will not work. What will not? You will not move. You will be there. Understand? Staying there. And slowly you will. You know where you go? Where you go down. Correct? Yes? That point has been explained. You know, what is that verse? 25,278, is it? Huh? 25,278, you see, this is again another important point. I mean, we have shown this many times. So how relevant it is. Man becomes strong and stout by eating sufficient grain, but devotee who simply eats ordinary grain and does not taste the transcendental pastime of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Krishna gradually become weak and fall down from the transcendental position. However, if one drinks but a drop of nectar of Krishna's pastime, his body and mind begin to bloom and he begins to laugh, sing and dance. This can only come about by association with advance. Yes, we simply eat purpose. All devotees connected with Krishna conscious movement must read all the books that have been translated, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita and others. Otherwise, after some time, they will simply eat, sleep and fall down from their position. Thus, they will miss the opportunity to attain the eternal blissful life of transcendental pleasure. This is where ISKM is drawing the line. Practically, our classes inducing you to or giving you access to the knowledge in the Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita? Yes, like today, you see, we read the pastime of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Did you know about this? He went to the forest of Jarikanda. You knew? You read it?
In the classes only. In the classes only.
Huh?
From the classes only.
From the classes.
Before.
Did we show you the verses about that?
Not the exact verse, we know that.
Generally, you know, he went to the Jarikanda. But today,
Before.
correct? Yes?
That route is still there now.
Huh?
From the walk till Vrindavan, that route is still there in India. The map.
Yeah. The map is there.
And they are showing that rock and all is there still.
Hmm?
Where the rock melted.
The rock?
There is a rock there
The rock which melted.
which has
The footprints.
footprints of tigers, snake, the like this, and a deer, everything, all the hooves of the animals are there, melted into the rock.
There's a YouTube video of that. Devotee standing there.
No, I don't think I went there. I don't plan to anyway.
No, it's not like a forest. It's you can actually go there.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's a holy place. No?
What is it called?
There's a name for it.
This is the Jharkhand, right?
One devotee is got a temple there, no? Is that the place? Huh?
Next India to the
It's called there's a name for it.
So the point I'm trying to make is that here you are hearing all the different, like today we covered so many places here, there, everywhere, explaining this point, is it not? Yes? So this is what actually means that you must hear, correct? So by hearing, this is the whole point, by hearing we get purified, we get faith, we get what? Strength. This is association. But if you don't hear properly, then what will happen? Huh? What will happen? Tell me. You have become misguided. And then finish spiritually. Yes? What is it? What's the place?
What is it called?
That's in Jharkhand.
What is Jharkhand state?
Padayatra.
Jalan Kamari.
Oh, yeah, Charanpur. Where the Lord, yeah, Charanpur.
Charanpur.
What's the name of the city nearby?
Jharkhand state.
It's in Jharkhand state.
Jharkhand state. See, all these things are there and they are not capitalizing on it.
No, it's like a Mulu place, nobody knows.
Yeah, if you can make a tour, how people will go? Correct? India, too many footprints anyway, they don't bother. There's one only in Mecca, millions of people are going. One place only. You go to Jerusalem, one place only, there, But India, so many villages and they are not bothered. How you can, advertise all the glories of the Lord? And how many people will benefit? Yes? Correct? Yes. Very unfortunate is the problem. Alright, so we will stop here. We have explained the point at length, I think. Any questions?
Kirtan remove the envy of tigers and deers, but doing Kirtan, so many factions of devotees fighting like cats and dogs, so much envy. So usually devotees take shelter of Krishna and all the good qualities come, but maybe the question is, maybe they're not taking shelter of Krishna.
That we have shown many times, no? This is the word that was spoken by Kapila. This is what happening here. Devotional service executed by a person who is envious, proud, violent and angry, who is a separatist, is considered in the mode of darkness. If a person is practicing devotional service in the mode of passion, then this kind of qualities will develop. So when you have this kind of quality, then there's partition, you know, all kind of fraction. This is explained. The word is specially used here, what? Separatist. He wants to separate himself.
As long as in the material world, only pure devotional service is without any contamination. Now anybody else will have all this contamination.
No, but if you follow strictly the order of the spiritual master, then you should also be free from this. You understand? Therefore the spiritual master is the binding factor. If you follow strictly his orders, then this thing should not happen.
Can a conditioned soul strictly follow the order of the spiritual master at all?
That's the whole philosophy. You have to strictly follow.
Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's order, only a pure devotee followed perfectly. Everybody else. So can only a pure devotee follow the order of the spiritual master perfectly, and the others?
No, anyone who follows the order of the spiritual master strictly becomes a pure devotee. Because he's following the pure instructions. Why not? Why not? Prabhupada did it. Prabhupada did it.
Only Prabhupada did it. No conditioned souls seem to have done it.
No, but if you, therefore, this is example he has set. That's why he said in that verse 10 to 31, he leaves behind a method. Because Krishna is favoring the other conditioned soul, he accepts that method. So then by accepting the method and Krishna accepts you, then you also progress spiritually. So the whole binding factor is that how much you are surrendered. There is implicit faith in Guru and Krishna. That's the whole substance of spiritual life. You cannot, as Prabhupada writes, I cannot do this. The moment you say that, you are fallen. The moment you have another opinion of the spiritual master, you are fallen. So you cannot afford to do that. That we have to strictly see ourselves guiding in that point. And therefore when you do that, then spiritually you become very much enlivened. That's the test of spiritual life. When you're getting strength, that verse, 7, 15, 40, 45, we quote. Yeah, you get strength. And that's why when I ask Prabhupada, we are not seeing you, we don't know how to please you. Prabhupada said, as long as you follow the 4 principles and chant 16 rounds, then you know you are pleasing me. Right? Because you do that, then you get the mercy of the spiritual master. See, our movement is based on mercy, and nothing else. Yasha prasada. Why is the word used as yasha prasada? Prasada means what? Mercy. This movement is based on that thing, mercy. It is not by your expert studying or your expert management or whatever. No. It's simply what? What is that verse? The lame can walk. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yat kripa tamaham. There is the line. Sri Guru Dina Taranam. The mercy of the Guru. Yes, what? This dumb person can speak and the lame person can. There's a potent, the Guru Kripa. That is very, very. That's why our whole spiritual life should be based on this one point. We cannot transgress the order of our spiritual master. This is why we are different. Why we are different? Because we don't want to transgress. We don't want to be what do you call it? Prabhupada cried? Ecclesiastical movement.
Ecclesiastic.
Yeah, what is the word?
Ecclesiastic.
Then voting and this thing and all. No. Where is that word? You show me that word. It is not part of this kind of nonsense. It is purely based on You accepting 100% the order. So Prabhupada writes in that 12:10, the moment you disobey, you become what? Useless. Finish. Your spiritual life is finished. Understand? Then you get all this kind of other qualities. You want to be separate, you got enviness. The moment all this bad quality develop, means there's something is wrong. Then Prabhupada writes again that if you want to correct yourself from that, you must associate again with the advanced devotees. That's the test. Whether you are progressing or not progressing, this envy cannot come into the heart. If envy is coming to the heart, then something is not right.
No, but envy is already there. You are starting from a point of all these unearthas. So they are not going to go away overnight.
No,
So
but
actually
you will, you may have, but the point is that it will not be in a point of hindering your spiritual advancement. You must learn how to accept the fact that whenever you detect this, then you must pray to correct yourself. It's just like, what's his name? Yamuna Acharya. The moment I think of sex life, it's not that he didn't think, the thought comes in, he's pure devotee. But when he thinks, he rejects it. His mouth curl and distaste. Correct? The same way, all these other qualities will come, but you must learn how to nullify them. No, I am fallen. I am not advanced, The moment you take a humble position, then everything gets adjusted. That's the secret. So I say, the Prabhupada writes in that, just now the purport, we read. Tranadapi, Sunichena, Taroapi. This is the guideline. You have to learn how to be humble. If you are not humble, then you will be overtaken by all these weeds. Call what? Another thing, what are the weeds? What is the weeds? Pratishta, Labha, Puja, all this. And in that purport, Prabhupada writes that a neophyte cannot see these weeds. He cannot see. Understand? Therefore, you have to take an association of the advanced devotee, but with his association, he can pull out all these weeds and let the devotional creeper grow. You understand? He may not be able to differentiate. That's why association with advanced devotee is very, very crucial. Hey, Prabhu, you shouldn't be doing like this. Prabhu, you shouldn't. When you talk to devotees, Prabhu, I did this, I did that. Prabhu, what are you talking? What you can do? Oh, you're not the body, you're a servant of Krishna. What are you talking about? You doing this and doing that? So immediately he gets what? Oh, I shouldn't say. Correct? So why? Because you're associating with someone who's going to tell you, Prabhu, you please don't think like this, this is not correct. Yes, that's association. You follow?
Association means Ravana Kirtan, means hearing the knowledge. Simply association of talking Ravana, mundane talk.
Mundane talk, but advanced devotee, you cannot do mundane talk with them. They are very expert, you talk like Prabhupada, Dayananda was talking to him, all general talk, One point Prabhupada stopped and he moved his cane like this. And he said, you cannot use the spiritual master. And then Dayananda realized and he walked to the back. Understand? You have to learn how to associate. No, Dayananda. Dayananda, he was there walking. But then Prabhupada just put the cane like this and said, cannot use the spiritual master. That means you should submissively inquire. Not they just talk some idle talk and We have to learn how to associate. You follow my point? That's why people get very upset with our ISKM system of giving class, There are too many verses, Prabhu. Why are you all talking these verses? Because our whole standard is to hear from the authority. Yes, and not to speculate. Because your symptom of speculating is the guy is what? He is covered by mind. But when you speak from the scriptures, then yes, you are actually teaching. You are actually teaching someone.
You're hearing from authentic source.
Correct.
That is authentic.
Yes. Because he may read this section or he may not read this section. When he is going to read the section, like that day I asked, how many of you have finished Bhagavad Gita? Everybody started laughing. Because you not even finished Bhagavad Gita. Huh? So when you going to go to this? When? When you going to read this Bhagavatam? Huh? When? Next slide. Huh? Correct? You see how much to do? So therefore, when you are in this kind of environment, then you are exposed. And that also gives you the impetus and enthusiasm to find out. Yeah, I want to find out. I want to. Correct? Yes? Did you get enthusiasm by hearing the classes of the ISKM devotees? That propel you to read, yes? And another thing we are doing is that we are encouraging you all to give classes now, correct? I think all of you have to do, I was doing for 1 year, I have stopped. I think you should do, respective. Yes? I think, yeah, you should start also, a Malayalam class or something. There's this Malayalam section there, I stopped doing it. Maybe you can do. So all of you get into preaching, then definitely you must be reading. If you don't read, how are you going to preach? Yes? Yes or no? Yeah? Because for you to come up here and give class, it's I don't know when this is going to happen, you get very nervous anyway. Sunday only you don't want to come. Prabhu, maybe I am picked to give a class. See how? Yes? So the next alternative is that, okay, you maybe do in your Zoom classes and you get a chance to preach, and that way you can refer to all the other classes or you read the book. I think easier for you to refer to the other classes being conducted. Then you can pick up and speak. In this way, you will not remain a neophyte devotee. You will not remain a neophyte devotee. A neophyte devotee is what we are talking about here. He is not advanced. And he will speculate and do so many crazy things. And a neophyte devotee is always compromising. Yes? The problem. So we forewarned, try to correct ourselves, try to make a progress spiritually. Alright, so you have to be very cautious. That's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Amoga, your heart is a pure place. Why are you keeping these dirty things in your heart? Wake up and chant Hare Krishna. That's why we recommend, actually in ISKM our standard is that you better come for Mangala Arati. If you are not going to come for Mangala Arati, you can kiss your spiritual life goodbye. I repeat again, you can kiss your spiritual life goodbye. You understand? If you don't want to learn this, forget it. You are not going to make it. You are not going to? Hello? You are not going to what? You cannot make it. You cannot. I can give you in writing now, if you want. You cannot make progress if you don't change your habits. Yes? Hello? Huh? This is the biggest problem. The biggest problem is that you are not interested in making for the morning. This is sum and substance of the whole thing. Right? If you don't make it, then forget it. It's not going to work. Yes, you can pretend, learn sloka, this, or you can. spiritually you cannot make advance. Why? Because your heart is not getting purified. You cannot. You show me one verse that you can do. You take up. Is there a verse there? You don't do any morning program and you can become a pure devotee. You show me? Hello? Hello? Is there a verse? Yeah, Prabhu, I found in Garuda Purana it says. Yes. So please remember this. You have to make some adjustment. You have to practice this austerity. Otherwise, spiritually, it's a yo-yo. You know what's a yo-yo? You don't know. You don't know what's a yo-yo. You don't know what's a yo-yo? You know, this yo-yo is a game, they play with like this. You remember? You know what is that?
Yeah.
That's called a yo-yo, You don't know? Indians don't know this yo-yo.
No, we do play.
Name don't know.
So this is called going up and pulling it up. And going down, pulling it. So this is called a yo-yo, Going up and going down, going up and going. That's how spiritual life will be.
Oscillating.
Yes.
Fluctuating.
Cannot make it once. Yes. So please think again and think carefully. Alright, I think we better stop here then. Thank you very much. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki. Any questions inside there? Yeah, I'm just waiting. Is there any question? I was just asking,